Hey stars, it's me, Shot a Star, and I'm back. I hope you guys had a great weekend, and I hope you guys are having a great beginning of your new week. If it's a work week, vacation week, whatever you're doing, enjoy it. And I'm hoping you're enjoying your week, okay? First off, I'm drinking my tea. It's really good today. Wow. Having some tea. The weather's really nice here in New Jersey. It's supposed to be really nice the entire week up until Friday. I think we get more rain. But I believe like Thursday, we're supposed to be at 89 or 90 degrees. So every day is getting hotter. So today is in the 70s, tomorrow in the 80s, and on and on and on. But then the rain is supposed to return on Friday. And I'm sorry if I sound like a weatherman, but we have been getting so much rain here. I told you I had to postpone having our roof done for weeks because the rain was constant. It was raining 5 days out of 7. Um, okay, so I'm going to start off while doing some research. Of course, I came across a few rest in peace. I don't know how many of you guys know, but just so that you do know, and just to show respect, um, Rihanna lost her dad, Ronald Fenty. Um, It says Ronald Fenty, Rihanna's father, unalived, passed away at age 70, right? And I mean, I can see the resemblance. I mean, what I did know was I didn't know if he was back in their country in Barbados or did he live in the States? Well, come to find, I don't know where he lived, but it says the Barbados Prime Minister Maya Motley has confirmed that Rihanna's father, Ronald Fenty, has passed away in Los Angeles after battling an unspecified illness at the age of 70. So, again, rest in peace to Mr. Fenty and sending our condolences to Rihanna and her fans. And also, I don't know how many of you guys know, I grew up in New York, so I've been familiar with this man. I've heard his name through pretty much my entire life. Mr. Charles Randall, he was a congressman for New York. Remembering Charles Randall, history, making New York congressman who passed away at the age of 94. That was a really good life, you know? It says Charles Rangel, a decorated war veteran, founding member of the Congressional Black Caucus, excuse me, and powerful voice in Congress for over 4 decades, 40 years. They said he passed away at the age of 94 on May 26th. So he just passed away a few days ago, last week. He was known as the Lion of Lenox Avenue and served in the U.S. House of Representatives for 46 years. That's definitely a lifetime. So he's rest in peace, Mr. Rangel. I'm sending out condolences to your family. Um, do you guys remember the story that I told you last week about the baby that was mauled by the family's pet and the yeah, they kept saying it was a puppy, and it mauled a 1 month old baby. And I think I said I know I said while the story, it was all so weird. It was 2 points that I said, and I said that I didn't understand how they this baby, 1 month old baby, was laying in between the mom and the stepdad. Now we'll get to that later. The mom and the stepdad, and this puppy attacked the baby. What kind of sleep did these parents, what were they in? A coma? I'm sure the baby was crying. The dog was growling. It was a real vicious attack. I refuse then and I refuse now to tell you. You have to read the story on what the dog did to the baby. However, after the medical examiner, well, look, it says infant's death in Queens was not caused by dog mauling. NYC medical examiner says. Okay. Now I found that weird that no one they didn't supposedly didn't know that the dog mauled the baby that's lying in between them. And I said, wasn't it a bad idea to have a baby lying in between two grown adults? Because the fear has always been if the person rolled over on the baby. But then I also found it weird that they said the mom, 1 month old baby, and stepdad So I was kind of boggled behind it. I was like, okay, wait a minute. Mom, 1 month old baby, and stepdad? And then Leighton said to me, he said, well, she could have been pregnant for her 9 months. And then in between that time, she married someone, not the father. And so when the baby was born, it was her, the baby, and the stepdad. And then it made complete sense. It's just, I don't see it happening every day, but it was different. And even when in writing, when you're reading it, mom, 1 month old baby, and stepdad, you're like, stepdad? Where's the father? Like, what? Okay, so that's what that was. Well, um, police officers were called to the Long Island City apartment early Tuesday morning, right? For reports of a German Shepherd pit bull mix puppy mauling a 1 month old child. Now, before I did say, they kept saying it was a puppy, and what I read, the, the things that the dog did to the baby, I was like, what kind of dog was that? What kind of puppy was that? Because usually puppies are like babies. Well, they ain't babies no more, especially when they're mixed with German Shepherd and Pit Bull. So I don't know. Maybe the German Shepherd part of it would have loved on the baby, but that Pit Bull part of them allegedly kicked in. And I mean, come on. Okay, so it says the child's mother told police her daughter was in the bed between herself and the child's stepfather when the dog attacked. The medical examiner said Wednesday, however, the injuries from the dog attack occurred after the child was already unalived. The cause and manner of the unaliving is still under investigation. Police questioned the child's parents, and the dog was taken to animal control. Now, I'm sure this dog was put to sleep. And they said it's a puppy, so he was put to sleep. Um, But I thought it was a strange. I just didn't understand how something like that happened right here, and you're sleeping, and you both of you sleep through your baby being mauled by a dog. Okay, just the movements alone, just any. My cat jumps on my bed. I mean, we have a really good bed, so I don't really feel it, but I can tell. And we have hardwood floors, so you always hear that. When they on your bed, or you always hear that on the floor. Nevertheless, I thought that was really, really weird. And now we got to figure out what really happened, because I just knew that just didn't make any sense. And allegedly, I believe something happened to the baby, and they pretty much fed the baby to the dog, pretty much. Okay, let's get out of there. Let's get out of that mind frame. Let's move along. Okay, so all the people that travel on United Airlines or JetBlue, guess what? Um, United Airlines will team up with JetBlue in a new alliance they are calling Blue Sky. The couriers announced Thursday the alliance will include a full-blown loyalty partnership that will allow United Mileage Plus and JetBlue TrueBlue members the ability to earn and redeem miles on either courier. And I think that's great, because sometimes you get these miles on your card, whatever, and you have to kind of stick to this airline because you have so many mileage in it. They're not usually transferable, that you have to use it there. It's great. If so, United Airlines and JetBlue are teaming up to where you can use your mileage on either, and wherever either one you use, you accumulate the mileage. I think that's great. I actually think that they all should be connected in a manner to where I can use my mileage on any airline. Really, to be honest with you, they just would have to agree to give away the same amount of points and do different things. But that way, no one would lose. How many times would you wish, like I'm at the airport and we're flying to Jamaica, and no, matter of fact, wasn't even only to Jamaica. We were flying to Miami, and they only use, I think it was Delta or JetBlue. They only use two planes a day for Miami, from Newark to Miami. So one of the planes broke down, had a mechanical issue. So there was one plane. So instead of them bringing another plane on, because remember, the flight is only, it isn't that long. So you're waiting for a flight to leave Newark, get to Miami, deboard, turn around, come back to Newark, bringing people from. It's like going back and forth like taxiing. And my thing was, why don't they just add another plane? Because this particular day, we waited. Oh my goodness, I can't, because we had to wait for the plane, which was in Miami, to come back to pick us up, pretty much. So we had our layover was like 3 hours because the other plane had some mechanical issues they were trying to work. It was just a mess. So this is great. I would have been able to run over to United or whomever and be like, listen, this is and such. Boom, 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 and you go. So I think it's a great idea. I really do, and I'm sure people that use those airlines would be happy to know that, because I'm sure it'd be useful. Now I'm just waiting to see what their rates would be, how they're going to work on. But their mileage would have to be pretty much the same thing. Boom. So speaking of airlines, this woman, okay, had to. Okay, well, we're gonna go through it, and then we're gonna go through it. Okay. Now it says humiliated passenger forced to scrub off heavy makeup because her face didn't match her passport. Passenger was forced to scrub off heavy makeup because her face didn't match her passport. Now, this is a TikTok world and Instagram. Listen, social media. How many times have we seen these TikTok videos or these Instagram videos, right? Where the makeup, I don't know, I wouldn't say it was it's not a tutorial. It's just a woman putting on her makeup. But if she looks like me, but then when she finishes, she looks like, who can I say she looks like? Well, she looks like me here, and when she finished, she looks like Beyonce. You're like, are you? And you watching her now, mind you, transform herself with the makeup and the wigs and the caps and the lashes and the whatever else. Yeah, I think a lot of people are going to have this problem this coming summer. But some of these makeup jobs, it it's straight catfishing. It seriously, it's straight catfishing. Because that person, when you show that picture when they're showing you the video of the person, and as the time is counting down, they're doing their makeup, and then at the end, they look like me in the beginning. They look like a straight Beyonce in concert. Afterwards, that's catfishing. You're bugging out. Unless you're doing it for performances, but you're doing it as an everyday look to go out and trick these people. That makeup got to come off, bro. I don't know I don't even know what to say with it. But anyway, I just feel that there's going to be a lot of people dealing with this makeup, because it's not like you're going through TSA or immigration and it's only the person. Because in this case, it says a woman flying out of Shanghai was forced to scrub off her heavy makeup at airport immigration because the facial scanners couldn't recognize her. So not only did the TSA agents or the people that's there to check you and do whatever, because it's in Japan, so I don't know what they call them, but us, we call them TSA. They couldn't recognize her, and even the facial scanners, when she went through the machine, we all have pre-check and pre-boarding and global entry and stuff. We go through these scanners, and apparently even the scanners didn't know it was her. So they made her take off her makeup right then and there. I don't know, because they should have taken into consideration that people do wear makeup. And this facial recognition stuff has to be able to get through that somehow. But then again, could it be somebody looking like you? I don't know how that's going to go, but that's weird, and that's going to be a problem, because some of the people I know, I'm telling you right now, right now, they're going to have a problem. Okay, sitting up there with them. So keep your facial scrub, your makeup cloths and stuff. Have your whole little kit, that little box, that little kit. Keep it with you. Take it on a carry-on if you can, if it makes because they have changed the liquids, so you can take more liquids on the plane than before. But nevertheless, y'all bet. And I told y'all that they was changing it from 45 minutes before boarding, where it used to be 30, but now it's 45. You better show up. Y'all girls better show up about an hour or two, like y'all flying international, because some of that makeup y'all got on, y'all gonna need some time. Okay, moving right along. No shade. Anywho, Burger King. Let's go to Burger King. So Burger King has an employee, right? And this is what the story is saying. Burger King employee who worked last minute shift and graduation clothes after his high school ceremony gets 22K in donations. So, this Burger King worker with a great job ethic, I mean work ethic, period. Um, I don't know how it went. They didn't explain it, but he went to his graduation and I guess he hung around a little bit. He had on his suit and his medals because he was an honor student. He worked at Burger King. And what happened was he noticed while coming home from after graduation and hanging out a little bit, he noticed a long line, and it was the late night long line where they're no longer letting you in to the restaurant. Now everybody's through the drive-through and stuff like that. I'm assuming that's it. It says his name is Mikhail Barker. It says his work ethic inspired a local mom to report and raise $22,000 to surprise him. Mikhail Barker picked up a shift at the Dacula, Georgia. So this is in Georgia, a Dacula, Georgia Burger King restaurant where he worked after seeing the late night rush on May 21st. So this just happened, not long ago. So apparently he was on his way home from graduation and hanging out with his friends because they said it was late night. So I'm assuming, and he saw the line and still wearing his graduation medals around his neck. 18-year-old Mikhail Baker showed up to work at the location in Georgia just hours after receiving his diploma. His decision not only showed commitment, but also caught the internet's attention. I mean, bravo to you for your work ethic, sir. And bravo to you for working at Burger King and earning a keep. And also bravo to you to graduate from high school with honors because they stated medals and they say that he was an honor student, right? Well, um, my question was Burger King. When someone works for you as a teenager, you know their schedule, you know what's going on. You knew that that was his graduation day and night, right? Now, granted, it worked out in his favor because someone took notice and a local mom raised over $22,000 in donations so he can further his education. Now, in the story, they don't mention that if he's going to college, if he was accepted to college, whatever. Apparently, he has an incredible work ethic. We get that. So apparently, if he did this, he's done other things. And it's weird that when you go, you work at any place. It's not just Burger King, any place. You can work at the White House and you can do extra work and you can really push forward to make things happen. And they tend to recognize it right then and there. But when it comes time for raises and promotion, they don't remember nothing. Okay. So my thing was, okay, so the woman raised $22,000 at the time. At the time, remember that. What did Burger King do? Hearing of the story and them knowing him and him coming in and working when they were short staffed and the line was long. And like I said, if he did this, he's done more. He's done other things during his career at Burger King. What did you guys do for him? Burger King, multi-billion-dollar chain restaurant. What did you do for this 18-year-old employee who came to work on his way home from graduation and noticed that your lines were long and jumped in his graduation tuxedo because they show his suit with his medals on and got to work? What did y'all do for him? Because see, I'm hearing how someone on the outside took notice and raised money for him. What did you do for him? Well, guess what? That $22,000 skyrocketed to $130,000 and still climbing. Yeah, so it was a good idea. Yeah, it was in God's plan. Definitely, He did that, and look what one doing that little service that most of us would have never done. 98% of us would have never done that on our graduation night in our graduation clothes, and we wouldn't have done that. We wouldn't have done that. We know this. So for him being obedient to whatever and doing what he does, But Burger King, what did you do? Because you had no idea that someone was going to raise any money for him and that it would skyrocket to over $130,000 and still climbing. So you could have at least said, you know what, sir, for that service, and you graduated with honors. This is not just regular smegular. You graduated with honors. He has medals around his neck. You know what, sir? Whatever school you're going to or whatever school you want to go to, because see, there's a Burger King in every city and state. Okay? So no matter if he wanted to, this happened in Georgia, if he wanted to go to school in Mississippi, if he wanted to go to school down south, if he wanted to go to school anywhere in these states, there's a Burger King. You could keep him employed while he went to school. You could have paid for his first year tuition. Burger King. Like seriously, come on. You say we can have it our way. Well, I want it that way. Okay. What did you do? Well, thank God anyway. Mikhail Barker, you are truly blessed, and I'm sure this is how being a good person, and this is how doing what's right or doing what you think is right. Because most of us went into a second of it like, oh, that line is long, and kept pushing. See you tomorrow, whenever I get back to work. Okay, but for him doing that, it went from 22,000 to 130,000 at this point, and it's still climbing. So I salute you. Okay, so me growing up in New York, growing up as a kid in New York or a teenager in New York, they weren't, put it this way, 30 years ago or so, 30, 40 years ago, cars wasn't that important for teenagers. Some people had them, meaning teenagers, where when you live down south, you live in California, you live certain places, when you get 15 or 16, that's all you're thinking of is a car. You already know how to drive. You're getting your permit and your driver's license. Well, in New York, you have trains and buses. It's a big city. It's hustle and bustle. A lot of people didn't get their driver's license until later, if they ever got it. I have family members that passed away in their 60s and 70s and never drove, never got behind the wheel one day in their life. And that's how it was back then. Life was that way. You didn't have to. You hear people say all the time, well, you have a car? I live in New York. I don't have a car. First of all, parking it is horrendous. Finding room is horrendous. The prices of a car and insurance, let's not even speak of that. But nevertheless, this story, like most people, their dad, you make plans, your mom, your dad, your uncle, your cousin, whoever it is that you're looking forward to teach you how to drive. So this dad apparently took his daughter to a parking lot. It says dad dies in crash while trying to teach his 15-year-old daughter to drive. A father was being a good parent trying to teach his daughter how to drive, which resulted in a tragedy like this. Okay, this happened in California. So what happened was the dad took the daughter to, I guess it was a supermarket parking lot, but it was raised, which you have to drive up a ramp. Because if you've ever been to California, their underground parking and stuff is a little different than you've ever seen in New York or New Jersey. Anyhow, this parking lot is raised. I don't know. Maybe it looked like, from what I saw from the picture, it may be raised 2 to 3 stories. Now I'm going to bring up the picture so you can get an idea, because it looks like this is actually the car. What happened was she hit the gas and the car went through a gate and a fence and went over an embankment and landed on its roof. Now you can see here where my cursor is. This is the roof, and the car is a Beetle Volkswagen. I can see that it was, I don't know if it was convertible or high top, because mostly in California there's a lot of convertibles. And if that particular car had a convertible and it landed like that, they didn't have a chance in the world of survival unless God said so, right? So, and when you look at it, you can't tell if it was a roof or had a hard top roof or convertible. Everything is crushed. So this was the Beetle, and she went over the embankment and down, and the father passed away at the scene, and the daughter is in critical. So prayers out to that family. I mean, tragedy and freak accidents. Can you imagine that's one of your? I know in California, it's one of their 15. Oh my God, she got her permit. When she turned 16, she get her license and she get a car of her own. That's how it goes mostly out there if you can afford that. And even if you can't, they get a hoopty. It ain't okay. But devastating. Something that you're looking forward to do, and I'm sure the dad was looking forward to teach her, and she was like, and this is what occurs. So again, condolences go out to that family. Wow, we're giving out a lot of condolences inadvertently, aren't we? Okay, so I know that we are aware of Kobe Bryant, right? Okay, so Kobe Bryant's oldest daughter, Natalia, right? Give me 1 second. Okay. Kobe Bryant's oldest daughter, Natalia, graduated from college. She graduated from USC, which I'm sure man, I feel bad for her only because her dad would have loved, as close as he was to his daughters, I would assume that he would have loved to have seen this and been there, and he is seeing it. But, to be there in the physical is one thing. Well, this is Natalia, and she graduated from USC. And the good thing about this is because her dad was unable to be there, they said A1. They didn't give us a list of who, but a lot of A1 celebrities showed up to her graduation. Now, let's be clear. If you go to USC or you go to Pepperdine or you go to UCLA, there's a lot of celebrity kids that goes to these schools. So at any given time, any graduation, anything, you're going to see a lot of celebrities. But I guess because her dad couldn't be there for her, a lot of these A1, A-list celebrities showed up. It says Natalia Bryant is officially a USC graduate. She's a member of the 2025 class. Bryant graduated from the School of Cinematic Arts with cum laude honors, showcasing a bright smile and stylish white dress in the process. She's the oldest daughter of Kobe Bryant and the wife of Vanessa Bryant, just graduated from the University of Southern California with honors and a nod to her late dad. They said a lot of A1. That's special, and that's nice because most likely these are people that knew you and knew your dad, and they wanted to share and show you the love. And what can you do other than that? So again, congratulations to Natalia for graduating from USC with honors at that. Well, look, that's what I have today. I know a lot of guys watch my video from last week, and listen, I'm human. A lot goes on, and that particular day, a lot went on that day. It wasn't just any particular thing. It was numbers of things, and it was things that already happened that was in my mind. So everything just came down on me on this one day, and it was heavy. But I'm good. I don't live there anymore. I'm not at that place at the moment anymore, right? But I was led to tell people to choose your friends. Like when you're picking friends and you're choosing friends and you're, doing these things, choose people that choose you. Don't let it be one-sided. Don't let the relationship be one-sided. Don't be a giver, or just a taker. Friendships and relationships are give and take. When it's one-sided, it doesn't work, right? Because, see, look, time is not refundable. So use your time with intention. That's why I state after every one of my videos, be intentional. I wanted 2025 to be intentional. Don't just go out wandering aimlessly. Be intentional about where you're going and what you're doing and who you're with. Right. And look, it doesn't mean that in any relationship, friendship, whatever it is, there's two people. So you can never blame one person for anything. Okay. Everybody plays a part, regardless if you want to admit it or not. And no one's perfect. So I'm sure I've played my part in whatever friendships and relationships I was dealing with on that day last week. I've done my part, I'm sure, but I know that I didn't deserve that. Okay. And you have to know what you're deserving of. And you have to say, don't let people gaslight you and make you think something happened and it was all on you. It's never all on one person because even the clock is right twice a day. So, excuse me, it ain't just me. That's nice. And when we work, the work we do on ourselves becomes a gift to others because we all need to do work on ourselves. We all need to, as you change anyway with age and time, right? And some people mature, some people don't. They're just getting older. They're not maturing. They're not changing anything. And I want to be intentional about what I do and who I'm around and who I'm with. It's all about space and energy to me. I believe in God and all of that. Don't get me wrong. But you know how someone can walk in a room and suck all the energy out of it and you can't say you don't feel it. You feel it. Or everybody's laughing and there's one person walk in and the laughter ends and the attitude, everybody tired and ready to go home right then and there. That's energy and it's real. Beauty. See, most of us deal with we get all this beauty as long as we look good and I used to think if you look good, you feel good, but you could look good and feel like crap. You really can. Growing up, whenever I put on my clothes or put on something, I felt good, but that was being young and not having responsibilities and life not kicking at every door. You know what I mean? So beauty is being the best version of yourself on the inside and the out. Beauty is being the best version of yourself inside and out. You could be a beautiful person and you can have the best clothes and drive the best car, but if you are black and nasty on the inside, that's what it is. And trust me, it shows. It shows. You might have a nice pair of shoes or carrying a nice bag, but you're still nasty and ugly on the inside. Well, enough. I've kept you. We're gonna let this service go. I love you guys, and I plan to see you guys as soon as possible. Have a great day.